CrossFit T&T presents the Battle for the Cup. Here we are going to go over the movements and the standards for all judges and athletes. Please take a couple minutes to watch as you will be informed of all of the proper movements that the judges will be looking for, along with what the judges will not want from you, so you don't get no reps. Thank you and enjoy! The hand release burpee. What the judges will be looking for is for both hands to release from the ground before jumping back up. When doing a burpee, we are looking for hands to be over the head, and we are also looking for you to jump with a little bit of air underneath your feet. The judges will also be looking for either stepping out when you do a burpee or jumping out. That is going to be okay. The judges will no rep you for not releasing your hands. They will also no rep you for not jumping and not getting your shoulders over your hips. The ab mat sit-up. The judges will be looking for straight legs when you start. As you come back, any part of your hands or fingers must touch the floor. Your arms could be straight or they could be bent. And when you come up, your shoulders must be over your hips and you must touch your toes. If you cannot touch your toes, you are allowed to touch your ankles as long as you keep your legs straight. You are allowed to have your legs shoulder width apart. No knee bending to touch your toes is a no rep, and no straddling of the legs is a no rep. Also, the judges will no rep you if you don't touch your hands on the floor and if you don't touch your ankles or your feet. Box jumps. The judges will be looking for you to jump up on the box, standing straight up in control with shoulders over the hips. From there, if you want, you can step down and jump back up. You could jump down and bound back up. Both of those are acceptable. These are all no reps. You are not allowed to jump off the box without showing control first. A no rep is if you step up to the box. And a no rep is also if you jump up on the box and have control, you must have your shoulders over your hips before coming off the box. And if you don't have control at the top, that is also a no rep. Singles and double unders. For singles, the judges will be looking for the rope to pass under your feet one time, and that will be one rep. If you mess up, you must get the rope, put it behind your feet, and start behind you, and start that rep all over again. For double unders, the same thing is going to happen. The judges will be looking for you to pass that rope twice this time underneath your feet for one rep to count. If you mess up, you must start again with the rope behind your feet and start over on that rep one more time. Pull-ups and chest-to-bar pull-ups. What the judges are looking for regular pull-ups is to have the chin over the bar. You also want to make sure that your feet do not touch the floor at any time during your pull-up. Your arms need to be fully locked out at the bottom. You could do strict, you could do kipping. You could also do butterfly pull-ups if you would like. All of those will count towards a pull-up. You could do mixed grip, strict or kipping. You could do reverse grip, strict or kipping. Now, with the chest to bar pull-up, your chest must make contact with the bar every time. Toes to bar. What the judges will be looking for is when you start your toes to bar, you must be at a dead hang with your arms straight. Both feet must pass the bar before starting. You could have any part of your foot touch from your ankle to your toes. If you have a trailing foot, the rep will count just as long as both feet touch the bar before you drop off. And you can also drop off the bar after every rep, just as long as you swing back with straight arms and pass that bar. Wall balls. Scaled will have a 9-foot target to hit, and RX will have a 10-foot target to hit. When you start, you could stand up with the ball and squat into it. Or if you would like, you can go ahead and start into a squat, just as long as you're below parallel. You are allowed to drop the ball after every rep. A no rep will count if you catch it on the bounce. Judges will call a no rep on that. Also, the judges will call a no rep if you don't get below parallel. Parallel does not cut it. A rep doesn't count if it's an air ball. A rep doesn't count if it's below the target you're trying to hit, and if you roll up to the target. Ring rows. The judges will be looking for every athlete to start at the bottom of a ring row in a hollow body position with only your heels touching the floor. Your thumbs must touch your chest or your armpits in order for that rep to count, and you must come down into that hollow body position before coming down. If your butt or shoulders touch the ground before you're in that position, that rep will not count. Again, thumbs must be touching the chest for each rep to count. A judge will no rep you if you start with your knees bent and thrust your hips up. Also, a no rep is if you're close won't cut it. You must touch your chest or armpits. And your arms must be locked out. Muscle ups. The judges will be looking for each athlete to start with their arms straight and their arms turned out before they start. You could do either a strict muscle up, just as long as your arms are locked out and straight at the top before returning back. Or you could do kipping muscle ups. Just remember, the judges are looking for your arms to be straight and turned out before the start of each muscle up. A no rep will be if you start your muscle up with your arms bent. Even if you're locked out at the top, that muscle up will not count. Judges will no rep you if you do not lock out at the top of your muscle up. The deadlift. What the judges will be looking for are your hands to be on the outside of your legs before coming up. Once you are up, you want your shoulders to be on top of your hips. When doing the deadlift, you are allowed to drop at the top of each rep. A judge will no rep you for bouncing the bar and catching it at the bottom. And also, a judge will no rep you for a sumo deadlift high pull stance. You will get no rep for not having your shoulders over your hips. And last but not least, if you stand up with your legs bent, that rep will not count. The power clean. The judges will be looking for you to take the bar from the ground and take it to your shoulders, as long as your elbows are past the plane of the bar. And you are allowed to land in a wide stance, just as long as you put your feet back together in starting position before you drop the bar. And a judge will no rep you if you do not have your elbows past the plane of the bar and do not have your hips open. Front squats. The judges will be looking for you to either power clean or squat clean into the first front squat. That rep will count if you squat clean into the first front squat. Each rep must be completed with your shoulders over your hips. A rep will not count if you have your arms crossed over holding the bar. Shoulder to overhead. What the judges are looking for is merely a push press. If you want, you could strict press it. You could also push press it. Or if you need to, you could push jerk it. The judges will be looking for the hands to be on top of the shoulders and the shoulders to be on top of the hips. A rep will not count if your wrists are not on top of your shoulders, and if you do not land with your legs straight, that rep won't count. Thrusters. The judges will be looking for you to either power clean into the thruster, or you can go right into that squat clean into the thruster, and that first rep will count as long as you are below parallel and your wrists are on top of your shoulders. Remember to follow that bar down in order for that rep to count. If you want, you could rest that bar on your shoulders in between reps, just as long as you continue a straight path from the front squat overhead. The judge will no rep you if you push jerk that thruster up, no rebending of the knees. The snatch. The judges will be looking for any variation of either the squat snatch, the power snatch, or the split snatch. You must wait for the judge to say good rep before setting the bar down. A bad rep would be if you do your snatch and you drop the bar before your feet are in starting position, or you do not put your feet back in starting position before the rep is complete. The overhead squat. The judges will be looking for either you to power snatch it up into your overhead squat, or if you'd like, you can go right into a squat snatch into an overhead squat, and that first rep will count as long as you're below parallel and stand up all the way. Or if you'd like, you can clean it up, pop it over your head, fix your hands, and then go into your first overhead squat. You must be below parallel, and you must come up with your wrist over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips, and for that rep to count. The sumo deadlift high pull. The judges will be looking for your hands to be inside of your feet, and when you come up, you want to hit the clavicle bone and hips completely open. A bad rep would be you not getting the bar to your clavicle, and also one bumper touching the ground at one time and not having the other bumper touch. Not having fully extended hips will not count. That'll be a no rep. Kettlebell swings. The judges will be looking for each athlete to have their wrist touch a part of their thigh before each rep of the kettlebell swing. The bottom of the kettlebell must face the top of the ceiling for each rep to count. It can go back a little bit, that would be okay, as long as it passes the ceiling. A bad rep would be if you grabbed the kettlebell and did not swing it between your legs with your wrist touching your thighs first. A judge will also no rep you if that bottom of the kettlebell is not facing the top of the ceiling. That is a no rep, and that is also a no rep. Ball slams. We don't care how you get the ball over your head, just as long as you grab the ball and put it directly over your head before you slam it. Arms must be straight and locked out in order for that rep to count. Wrist on top of the shoulders, shoulders on top of the hips. A judge will no rep you if your arms are bent at the top of that ball slam, and also even if your arms are straight but your hips are not completely open, that rep will not count.